in 1973, Queen released their debut album, and it was an interesting blend of hard rock, progressive rock, heavy metal, even a bit of folk, and it created this interesting sound. And although it didn't sell well initially, it has kind of risen the ranks, and it kind of shows the band at their most raw state, but it's still a great start point and has all the seeds to where the band would later become. And it's always been one of my favorite Queen albums, and just not that long ago really, they announced a box set, and I made a video not that long ago talking about, you know, my initial thoughts on it, and it's kind of very questionable type of marketing. But at the end of the video, I kind of said I was on the fence whether I would actually get it. Well, let's just say I actually caved, because I would go on and yes, I bought it. You can call me a sellout all you want, but you know, as a big Queen fan, I feel like I'm trying not to make excuses, but yeah, I bought it. Main reason, you know, it's October, you know, it's my birth month, so might as well give myself a bone, give myself a little treat or something like that. And in this video, I am going to be unboxing this and kind of going through all the contents and just kind of giving my initial thoughts on these. I'm not going to review the music side of things, because as of this recording, I have not listened to it yet. And hopefully sometime in the future, I will be reviewing all the contents. And along with me will be my friend Nick from Townsend 505. So that should be an interesting video, so look out for that. But without further ado, let's just jump right into it. If you're a massive fan of Queen, and you love the debut, please give this video a like, subscribe if you are new, and without further ado, let's just jump right into this. So right off the bat, before we actually get into the actual unboxing, I did already take it out of the cardboard. You know, it came in a cardboard box here, and covering that was this. I should kind of admit, this is actually my second time recording this, because my background was not actually set and I got too excited. So luckily I stopped myself just before I actually I took off the shrink wrap to this. But if I remember, I'll put some B-roll of the footage of me unboxing it, so you can still see it. But yeah, so let's just talk about the whole box itself before we actually take off the shrink wrap. So right off the bat, you see it's called Queen 1, which has kind of been a subject of divisiveness, I've noticed, because you know the first album is just called Queen, and you know, the main argument is that, you know, Queen 1, adding the 1 at the end is kind of pointless, because we know it's the first album. You know, Queen 2 makes sense because, you know, it's their second album, so it makes sense. But with Queen, it doesn't really need it. My thoughts on it, you know, I wouldn't say I'm on board with it, but I wouldn't say I'm against it either. And I've seen footage of Bryan talking about the name, and you know, he said it in a certain way.
It just seemed like we'd always referred to it as Queen 1 anyway. Also, it distinguishes this from the original, and it is quite a bit different. It's completely remixed. It's not just remastered, this set of original recordings. It's completely remixed in the way which made it sound like we had it in our heads in those days.
And I'm like, okay, fair enough. All right, I'll give you that one. So really, I'm not that upset about the Queen 1 name. To me, that's like the least of my worries. But that's just me. And as you can see, it's in this nice purple color, which, you know, I love purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors. I mean, my lights are kind of on the more purple side of things, so that thumbs up from me there. And hopefully you can see this, but it has a hype sticker right here. Just tells you what's inside. I'm going to see if I can try to keep it. And then, funny enough, you have a parental advisory sticker on the bottom here, which is kind of interesting. I'm assuming it's because of, you know, this does include some behind the scenes, some outtakes and stuff like that, and they probably do swear in them, so I guess, but I don't think it's gonna be that much, honestly, but that's just me. All right, but that's just my thoughts on the outside box. Let me just flip it over. I haven't done that yet. And right here, again, just kind of tells you all the contents on the back here, and it has this little history thing. Let me go ahead. I'll go quickly just read it off just briefly here. So, as it says, not just a remaster. This is a brand new 2024 rebuild of the entire Queen debut album, which, with the benefit of hindsight, we have retitled Queen 1. You know, I already talked about that, so move on. The song Mad the Swine, absent from the 1973 release, has been reinstated in its original place in the running order, which is an interesting idea. Kind of, you know, it's kind of, I'll talk more about that later on. But yeah, Queen 1 is the debut album that we always dreamed of bringing to you. And then you got the rest of that. But yeah, so I'll show it up here while I have it up here, just so you can have a different view of it. And yeah, all right, there's not much else to say really. Let's go ahead, let's get into the actual unboxing part. All right, got the box cutter here. Shouldn't be that hard. I'm just gonna have to find a place to make the incision. Okay, so let's go somewhere up here. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, try to go around it. Okay, right on the sticker. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Okay, we saved type sticker here. So there it is. I'll put that to the side for now. Let's just take out the rest. Okay, and this part is separate. Let's see if I can keep that as well. All right, but there we go. Put that over there. I don't know what I was trying to accomplish there. But okay, well, it's now or never. Let's do the part people are been looking forward to the most. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, I was hoping it'd be a lot smoother, but there we go. All right, so there's the lid. I must say, I do really like the texture of this. It has a nice sturdy feel to it. It's definitely not it's not your smooth type of box here. It's like, definitely has a texture to it. It feels nice. I do like it. But going back to the actual contents, let's see if I can I do it there? Can I do it there? Can I? Sort of. But anyway, over here, so right off the bat, we get the actual vinyl. So I'm going to carefully take it out here. You actually have a ribbon. I should probably use the ribbon. All right. So put it over here. Let's bring it up here. So before we actually look at the actual record, first I want to quickly talk about the cover real quick. Of course, right here is the 2024 remix, and then this is my original US copy. And obviously, the US is already different than the UK version, because as you can see, Freddie's a lot more magnified here, and the Queen logo is on the left side, where on the original album cover, which I'm going to use my CD for this, it is on the left or right side, my bad. And obviously, on the US version, it's definitely more magenta looking, whereas on the original UK, it's definitely more purple. And again, the color of the text is also different, where on the original UK, it's in this kind of magenta sort of text. It's hard to see. Maybe I'll show some B-roll of that as well, so you can get a closer look. And then on the US, it's more of a gold type of look. But now we talk about the 2024 edition here, and obviously definitely on the more purple side, but just by the looks of it, it definitely has a more, I don't know, kind of more muted, in my opinion. Again, if we look on my CD copy, the purple seems a lot more saturated, where on here it's definitely a lot more, I don't know, the purple doesn't really stand out. It's mostly because of the spotlight here, because I think they really enhanced the spotlight, which is definitely interesting. And again, the text up here is in the gold fonts rather than the original magenta. And of course you have the Queen one there. So Just want to kind of point all that stuff out. But let's just look at the record here. Let's go back on this side. So we can remove all this. And let me quickly look at the back actually. So the back looks like this. And obviously they're very similar. And of course all the pictures are supposedly digitally enhanced. They're supposed to be a lot more clearer. But you know, there already are some differences. Bring up here, of course, on this there's a red outline. This one has a more black. And obviously the red is more thicker than the black. And on the original, you have all the credits, you know, it has Freddie, Brian, Deacon, John, and then you have Roger Taylor. And then on this one, you don't really get that. It just tells you all the tracks, and then they have the Queen logo on the bottom. So there's that. Okay. Then we have the these kind of like this, like inner liner notes, which, according to Brian, these were not in the original album. They did not have liner notes. So here it is. Now there's one detail I'm actually curious about. Does it even do it? Nope. Okay, so honestly on the liner notes, it says John Deacon, where again on the original it says Deacon John. And you know, I get it. You know, John didn't want to be called Deacon John. They just did that because they wanted him to sound cooler. But same time, I'm like, kind of wish they could have kept Deacon John just to keep tradition, you know. But you know, they corrected it. So I don't know. So far, that's like the only disappointing thing so far to me. It's kind of a weird thing to be upset about, but I don't know. I kind of like the Deacon John bit. But yeah, nothing else to say really. It's just, again, just gives you the lyrics and the credits and stuff like that. So there's that. And then we have the actual record itself. Let's go ahead, carefully take this out, and then we'll quickly show it. All right. So of course, Keep Yourself Alive, Doing All Right, Great King Rat, and Mad as Swine, and My Fairy King are on side 1. And as you can see, the label right there. You know, it is interesting having Mad as Swine on the track listing. You know, for me, it's interesting. I don't disapprove of it, but it is interesting. I probably would have preferred it as a bonus track rather than being in the actual album. But hey, again, that's just a me thing. So here's side 2. Hopefully you can see it there, but it is a nice label. And the record looks pretty nice as well. Pretty solid looking. So we'll go ahead and put this away. And just go ahead. We will continue on with the next item in this box. Okay. And now we have probably the big thing, probably the main thing in this box. And that's these. Of course, we have the CDs themselves. So let me bring it up here. Comes in this nice kind of folder, I must say. Again, pretty smooth. Let me open it up. Go ahead. See, all the CDs are in individual sleeves, which is very cool. Bring it up here. All right. I must say, so far the presentation's been very nice. I do like how they kind of packaged everything. And so yeah, I do like how it's looking. And so far there doesn't seem to be any defects as far as I'm aware, but we'll see as we go. So let's take out this one first, and of course I'll do some B-roll so you can get a closer look. So right here we have the actual remix itself. Again, kind of similar to the vinyl look, just supposed to be like a replica, you know. Very simple back, not much to say, just basically the whole album, but the actual remix. And each thing has a little text on the bottom. I'm not going to read them, but you know, you can look, hopefully you can see them and you can read it yourself. Just pause the video. Okay, next up, I guess we'll move on over here now. So on this side we have disc 2, and here we have the Delaney demos, So this is the actual demos they did for some of these tracks. So only 5 songs. They have Keep Yourself Alive, The Night Comes Down, Great King Rat, Jesus, and Liar. I do like the photo they chose for it. You know, we have Freddie at the mic, which is kind of a nice little thing there. Very cool. I do like how not all of them have the same cover, because they could have easily had every single disc have the same color variation of the album cover. And you know, there are some in here. I'm not going to say they didn't do that, but for a few of them, they try to make things a little different. Okay, next up, disc 3. So we have the actual sessions, and it's in just the album cover, but green. And this one just has a bunch of outtakes and, you know, different alternate takes, that whole thing. So it should be interesting to give a listen to. You know, getting a little fly on the wall thing as you listen, as they go about it. Then we have disc 4, which to me, probably the most worthless of this whole set so far, because it says backing tracks, and all that is just the album but karaoke. So it's just the album instrumental. You know, this is going to be definitely one I'm not going to be listening to. I'll probably listen to it like maybe a few seconds each time, but not really something I'll go back to. It does come in a nice blue though, I'll give it that. But so far that's the weakest thing here so far. Okay, and then from here we have disc 5, which is Queen at the BBC. Kind of a more magenta, kind of on the same plane, somewhat on the same plane as the US cover, except this one's a bit more brighter. So again, I've said this in the previous video, but of course they do exist a Queen at the BBC CD out there that you can get, and maybe get it cheaper than this, honestly. So again, not the most original thing they could have included, but I guess there's really not a whole lot during this time that they could do that's exclusive here. But you know, it's still, this is just another way to get the BBC sessions if you really need it and you don't want to get that CD I mentioned it before, but hey. Next up, we have the last disc, which is Queen Live, and again another great different photo here of a live shot, probably an early shot, honestly. Okay, and you know, and again, a lot of this stuff appears on the Queen at the Rainbow CD, which I have also shown. So nothing here is different. It's just the same set, same songs they have from 1974. But the only thing that's actually worth noting is that it includes some tracks live in San Diego, my hometown, and has Doing All Right and Jesus. So that's kind of cool. And then it includes a early recording of them doing I'm a Man, of course the Spencer Davis Group song, at Imperial College. So this is before even John was in the band, I believe. So I think that's definitely the most interesting part of this particular disc. So that's gonna be interesting. I definitely want to hear that. But yeah, overall, that's all the CDs here. Again, should be, again, a lot of these stuff I'm probably only going to listen to once, but you know, should be fascinating to give them a go. But again, I do like this little folder they have. I think that's nice too. So there we go. That's the CDs covered. Okay, now we have these. So these are, I don't know what you call these, like poster cards or photo cards or whatever. So let's just take these out. Comes in kind of like this, like, I don't know what you call this, almost like wax paper almost. So yeah, you have shots of Freddie right here. Put it up here so you can see. Then we have Brian, of course. Nice close up of Brian. And there's Roger right there. And then of course we have John. Not the best photo of John, I must say, but you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna be honest, to me this is probably the most worthless thing in this entire set so far, because you know, what the hell am I gonna do with these? I get you could possibly hang them on a wall, maybe frame them, but I don't know, do people actually do them, or do they just keep them in the box? Because that's kind of what I might do, because I don't want these damaged, I guess. But yeah, aside from maybe framing them, I don't really see much else use for these. But hey, if you want like close-up shots of the band, then hey, that's that. So yeah, I don't have much else to add to it. So yeah, let's just keep moving. So we're about getting to the halfway point. So in the comments below, please let me know your thoughts on some of the contents I've been showing, and you can let me know if you agree or disagree with anything I've said so far. All right, that's all I want to say. Let's just keep it going. Now we have a poster. Yeah, it comes with a poster. So it's obviously not going to fit with this camera here. So, but okay, it's pretty big actually. It's actually bigger than I thought, honestly. So as you can tell, it's really just the back cover. That's all it is. Nothing different, except, you know, the track listing's not there. You just have the Queen logo, but essentially it is just the back cover. And it's cool. Again, it's very big, so there's that. But I would have liked it. I would have liked it if they could have maybe had like a different thing for a poster, like maybe have a photo of the band around that time, you know, stuff like that. Or you can't see, but you know, something like that. That would have been nice to get as a big poster. That's like my only gripe, because you know, this is fine, but they could have done something a little bit better. But you know, again, could be cool. Could have been cool. But yeah, I don't have much else to add to that. It's just the back cover. What do you want me to say about it? But yeah, we just have one more item left to talk about. And now we get to probably one of the main reasons why this box set's pretty expensive. And that is this. We have, I'm going to move the bottom half to the side for a sec. We'll put it there for now. We have the book. Let me put it over here. So it's a giant hardcover book here. You just have the Queen logo there. Nothing on the back. And really, it's just a kind of like somewhat photo album, a bit of, I guess, a little bit of history as well. So I'm just gonna flip through it real quick. There's a little interesting note here. Jack Halsman, Elektra Records, 1972. I have seen the future of pop music, and it's a band called Queen. Hey, I wouldn't disagree with that. So we open it up, and what's kind of cool, you get some nice photos here. So here's a little poster there, and you have some quotes. Here's a quote from Freddie. You can pause and read that. I'm not going to go through the entire book, but I'm just going to go through some of the big things here. Okay, this one's pretty cool. You have early sketches of Freddie designing the logo, which is very cool. So that's pretty nice that you have a little bit of history here. And of course you have these big photos, get some more quotes, and even some handwritten stuff that was done. You know, handwritten songs, like how their handwriting is. Let's see, we'll do something like this. You can probably see the whole thing. Some posters. Here they're opening for Yes by the looks of it. That's actually kind of cool. That would have been cool. I guess it would make sense because Steve Howe would guest star on Innuendo years later, so that's kind of interesting. And then again, you have some early photos. Again, I'm going to skip a few. I'm not going to go through the entire thing, but more live shots, more posters, and more handwritten stuff. So it kind of gives you a little bit more, you know, a little bit, like as I said, a little more history and more stuff, maybe some photos you have not seen before. Like again, here's a little behind the scenes. You have Freddie at the mic again, very young looking. And of course you have more stuff about their fashion. Again, some nice, again you have that same photo that we just saw earlier, so there's that. All right, one more. Here's like the original front cover and the back cover there. Got the master tapes, what they look like. Okay, almost done. More live shots here. And then some different designs of, you know, singles and some script and even some music transcripts, I guess. I'm not sure if I said that right, but yeah, there we go. So it's definitely going to be cool kind of looking through this and just kind of taking it all in. But yeah, I'd say this is pretty cool. I think this gets a thumbs up from me. I do like these type of books. Again, get some nice extra stuff here. So I think this is pretty nice. So there you have it. That is the entire Queen 1 box set. And I do know there are other versions of the box set which comes with other bonus stuff. Like you can get like a picture disc, a cassette tape, and I forgot what it's called. Oh yeah, a 45 single Up the Night Comes Down. So I did just get the basic pack because, you know, I'm not going to spend that much money. But let's go ahead. I'm going to quickly kind of talk about my thoughts so far on this box set. Positives is that, of course, I think it does look very nice. I think it is put together very well. Again, I didn't notice anything that I don't notice any kind of real big blemishes or anything. It does look fairly good and well put together, and all the contents are all there. So in terms of presentation, I think they did a really good job. And of course, again, I like the purple look. And then the overall presentations of the actual content is also really well put together. Again, looks very nice. Looks pretty clean, very elegant looking. I will give it that. So in terms of looks and presentation, very good. In terms of the actual content, and while there are some pretty nice things about it, of course you get a vinyl, of course you get 6 CDs, you get a poster, you get postcards, you get a book. So it is a pretty good variety. The only things that I'm like not on board with is that, you know, there are some, like I said, it goes back to the original video. There are some things here that you could get elsewhere and probably get for cheaper. And you know, there's a lot of things they could have improved. Like, again, I would have liked a different poster that's not just the back cover, because I have the vinyl, so I can already look at the back cover. So again, a different, like a band photo would have been nice. And again, the postcards, to me, they're kind of, I don't know, they're kind of don't really have much use for them. So those are like the big things. And you know, there's other small things, like I said, you know, the fact that they kind of retcon the Deacon John thing. Again, that's like a minor thing, that's like a nitpick, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. But for me, I like those small details that they still kind of keep around. So that's what made the debut so unique, was the fact they have Deacon John, which kind of made the album separate from everything else. So I will miss that, but of course I have my original copies, and they still have that part. So I'm glad I got those. But yeah, those are like my big things on this box set so far. Again, as of now, I have not heard any of the music so far. And as I said in the beginning, at some point me and Nick are going to get together and we'll do a whole review on it, on pretty much all the content and our thoughts on the remix in general. That should be a very interesting discussion. But of course, that's going to do it here. Like I said earlier, in the comments below, let me know if you're going to get this, or have you heard the remixed already, and what are your thoughts so far? Again, looking forward to know what people are going to think of this. But again, if you're a Queen fan, please give this video a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And until then, I will see you in the next video. Take care and goodbye for now.